Hello and welcome to my kind of busy life of engineering, game development, and just doing general projects. It's been a while since I announced Season 2 and the plans that I have for it. But of course, you know, even though I'm not necessarily doing YouTube, I'm still doing game development. And I thought you guys would be interested in exactly kind of what I did during the past year in terms of game development. Now, I'll be talking about one game jam that I did in particular. If you don't know what a game jam is, it's essentially a game that you make as a part of a competition. This time it was within 48 hours and it was very exciting. So let's get into that. Hey, it's me at the board. So what game jam exactly did I compete in this time? Well, it's the Texas Game Jam 2023. Now, if you've seen before, I've actually done the Texas Game Jam 2021, which I showcased in this video here. Now we used Unity that time, and so then the next year, I kind of may have been a little bit too ambitious and thought, you know what? I've been learning Unreal, and I think we can make a 3D game in 48 hours, which we sort of did. I am set to do the Texas Game Jam right now, heading there. How am I feeling? Nervous. I got a team of 7. And yeah, that was kind of a learning experience there. But going into the Texas Game Jam 2023, we kind of thought it'd be interesting to mix it up, and instead of doing Unity or Unreal, we decided to instead learn a whole new game engine, Godot. Now, I hadn't actually used Godot at all before that point, but I figured, how hard can it be? I literally forced the programmer last year to learn Unreal, so it was kind of payback for me to learn Godot. But of course, what was the theme for this game jam? Because every game jam has to come with a theme. So we were all sitting there, waiting for the theme to be announced, and it was, it's a trap. So yeah, I guess in order to see what we did with that news, I will play that footage now. That's how YouTube works. Alright, so to start off, what did we do? Well, for day 1, of course we did the planning stage. I remember someone mentioned that they liked Rain World as one of their favorite games, so it's like, well, what if we make a Rain World type game? Ivan was suggesting like Rain World style boss fighting, local multiplayer PvP, Ratatouille cooking game. Those are some of the ideas, and we all of course ranked them. And eventually, I mean, a lot of people just put kind of local multiplayer PvP as one of their top preferences that they wanted. So we kind of went with that, and we kind of just put down a whole bunch of kind of lore ideas here. Where the rat fights God, why are they fighting each other, stuff like this. And I mean, doing this, of course, really helps in a game jam, because you always need to kind of take the time and really focus on what you want to make instead of just making and then realizing you'll have to completely pivot later. So yeah, that was what we did, and then we opened up Godot. I'm actually gonna open up a new project here just to kind of show you kind of the ins and outs of kind of Godot here. I can't even speak. Or did I say GIMP or Godot? Alright, and so then this is Godot. I haven't actually opened it in a while. Let me just go into 2D, and what I'm gonna do to prove how good Godot is and to prove that I actually learned stuff from Godot, I'm going to make a player. First of all, I'm gonna need to, I guess, create a child node. I'm remembering it now. This will be the floor, because you always need a floor. Essentially how this works, it's very similar to Unity in the terms of you have components, but the components are actually just more important. You may see potential flips. Oh, we need to do it now. So instead, I tried to do it whenever I live streamed, and I just couldn't say anything. Why is this still aired? There you go. That's some tips and trips. Not trips, tips. Tips is Python, and which is since we're using Godot 4.0 at the time, see it'll just work perfectly. That's right. See here we have some nice velocity, but now I'm gonna add a jump. Yep, that's right. We're getting PX here, and you can see simple as that. Apparently it doesn't work. Collide with bodies and silly me trying to program. It also doesn't have I would never program. Hold on, that's for silly people. Now it's just even. I'll put it to that. I'll do this. And as you can see, I was just about to present it. I thought it was done. And as you can see, we have a little player here, and it's all working, all thanks to you and me figuring out on the fly. Time. Man, I didn't say time for like 10 minutes there. So let's just subtract those 10 minutes. Or those 10 seconds, because it wasn't actually 10 minutes. But yeah, this is Godot. It's very interesting. Or maybe for future projects, I'll start kind of learning Godot, specifically probably for 2D, and then Unreal Engine for 3D. I'm slowly getting through. I'm getting better. But yeah, so first of all, like I said, we learned Godot. And then we started, version controlling and stuff like that, which, let me just quickly complain about the version controlling. I mean, like, there's this really weird problem with the version controlling, specifically with Godot, in that these UUIDs here constantly change every time you save it. So as you can see, like, my teammate submitted this kind of commit here, which, changed a few things, imported a few things, whatever. But then the falling trap scene and the waterfall changed their UID, like, even though it wasn't actually really changed. And so then what happened is that of course you technically have two versions of the game. You have one that you're working on, one the other person's working on, and sometimes you can work on the same things and they can kind of conflict. In this case, they would conflict. So then if I worked on the waterfall at all, and then my friend here didn't even work on the waterfall, but it still created a change. If I pushed my commit first and then he pushed his commit on top, it would actually override my changes. So there were a couple times during the jam where I kind of clean up a scene. I'm like, okay, yeah, that scene looks good, and then it just gets completely wiped and I have to do it all again, purely because it was just a UID. But overall, not that bad. It only happened a few times, and so then we moved on to day 2. Alright, so day 2, what did we do? But that kind of rhymed, it wasn't on purpose. Essentially we all kind of just broke off and kind of did our own things to kind of just, maximize the amount of progress that we got done. So what was I doing? I was working on this little player character here. Look at that little rat. Another programmer is working on these traps here. You can see trap freeze, trap stick. Another programmer was working on the level layout. And then the artists were working on the stages. We actually got this test stage, which, it's not the final thing, but we worked on, the colliders, making sure you could do 2 players, stuff like that. Very exciting. And then, of course, the music people were working on the music. Here's a little sample of the music. Yep, that's that. I don't have the music, so I hope that was interesting and was long enough to hear something. But let's take a little look at what I worked on here. So you can see I am a little rat here, and you pick up a trap and then you press space to throw it, and you can see it got stuck in the trap. And an interesting thing that I worked on for the whole entire day, which I probably shouldn't have, but you can see the rat wraps around. Yay! This is actually kind of hard work and spent a lot of my time. But essentially how it works, let me see if I remember here. You can see that there's actually 2 colliders. One's the collision collider, and then the other one's the trigger collider. Essentially, as soon as this collider collides with another object here, it then links the object or the player to that object, so it runs up along it and disables gravity. So let's actually go on to this test stage here. Originally it was planned to go up. As you can see, it was just a race to the top, but since we have just this aspect ratio, it didn't really make sense to go up, since there wasn't that much up to do and you got up there in like 2 seconds, and we didn't just want to skip pretty much the whole game based off of like, oh, can you get up there in like 3 seconds, compared to your companion, who this guy's kind of at a disadvantage because he can't easily reach up there. But yeah, this is kind of the basics that we have. After day 2 and day 3, we were rushing to get everything together, and yeah, let's show that. All right, this is the day 3 project, I believe. I haven't tested it, but if I hit play, perfect. So let's hit play here, and you can see. Actually, I'm gonna blur it. Bam, it's been blurred. You can't actually see what it is. You'll have to play the game yourself. Link in the description to actually see the lore. which I'm so glad of what the lore is because I had input in it, and it's really funny. Oh, and it crashed apparently. So all right, and here it is. It's actually very loud in my ears, so I'm gonna turn it down. Don't mind the ad that was there. But yeah, you can see that we have trap spawning. We have a new movement system that I worked on a little bit, which is a top-down one. You can see here. Also, you can see down here, if you get into the water, you can also start drowning there. And then as soon as he drowns, I'm gonna need to speed up here without using my W key because it doesn't work. And I went into a slip trap. But yeah, a lot of stuff was actually finalized in this last day here. But here's the second stage here, and you can see here's the top-down view for the pipes. We also have the stick trap. So I'll just that didn't even the snap trap. I don't know why I call it that. Works. So if I go up here, you can see boom, and I get flung. This game requires a lot of precision. Let's just say. Let me get this one. You can see the one where you get stuck. You can see a better rain physics. That one, you know, you just slip through everything. Very exciting. And that rat's gonna die, and then the other one's gonna win, and you're gonna see that a power buff happens. So yeah, it lasts for 3 rounds. You get a buff each time until the third round. Third round, it's the last one standing. I just like these little tests here to make sure that I'm actually able to save data. Okay, so the left one should have gotten a speed increase. So let's both start here, and then both go, and you can see, ooh, wow, that one's a lot faster, but has also just died. Yep. Sometimes the rounds are very quick. It's very funny. Oh, I'll let the outro play. Oh, just kidding. You won't be able to see it until you actually play it. But there was a bit of a problem in that we may have not submitted in time, which was sort of my fault. Because the thing is, on itch, by the way, I didn't know this, but whoever creates the itch profile has to be the one that submits it to the jam page. I had made this other programmer moderator, or like the highest level for the itch page, because it's like, oh, if I don't have time, he'll be able to do it. Turns out he wasn't able to do it, and it had to be me, and I was busy trying to get the power-up system working because I had the silly. Now that I look back at it, it was kind of silly to think that the game didn't matter unless he had a power-up system, because I thought the first 2 rounds don't matter if you don't have the power-ups that get you to the 3rd round, kind of thing. But at the end of the day, it's just kind of having fun and just battling another rat. It doesn't really, I guess, matter if you have a power-up system or not, but I was very determined to get that power-up system done. But luckily, after we had dinner, they said another hour was open, and then I tried to work on the power-up system again, and I thought I had it working that time, but it still wasn't. I got it worked on after the jam was finished, but yeah, we were actually able to submit, and we showed it off to a few people. It's a lot of fun playing with another person this game, and we actually enjoyed our company so much that we actually worked on another game jam, which was the Jumble game jam, which essentially you have a project and then you switch it between other people for 3 days, I believe. So essentially we worked on a game for 24 hours. It's this, I'll show some screenshots. It's this kind of library fighting game. It was really fun. You get to show off the artist skills again. The second game that we worked on was a just kind of collectible game where you had to collect all of the penguins. The team was penguins. Some more screenshots. Basically, I kind of just worked on the levels a lot. And then the third one that we did was a just save the penguin 3D minigame thing where snowstorm's coming, there's slippery physics, and you have to guide the penguins back into this pit to be safe from the snowstorm. And that was kind of fun. I also did another game jam in the summer of last year. Just some more screenshots, basically Disastertopia. I just did this one with the other programmer that I've been working with for every game jam.
and it was a lot of fun. It was just basically the theme was just one button. So one button was the clicking mouse, and you had to like scroll through and click which thing to stop and things like that. It's pretty funny, and I actually did the art for that. But yeah, that's this video, just kind of going over a lot of the games that I worked on for the past year while I haven't been making YouTube videos, but that will be changing very, very soon, as I'll talk about in the next clip.
Whew, so, yeah, that was the game. So what happened to Rat Tide Skirmish? Well, we didn't necessarily win Best Overall. We didn't actually win any art or music awards, which, I mean, I thought we were, since the four of them actually did a really good job on that stuff. But we did actually end up getting second place for Best Technology, which, I mean, I guess is the programming award, so I guess I can consider that a win, which is pretty cool. But now, what does that mean for the future of the RedEng developer? Well, it's kind of cold, so I think I'm gonna move. Alright, so what is indeed the plan for the future of the RedEng developer YouTube channel? Well, there's a couple things in the works. Number one, this video. Number two, I actually have a few engineering projects that I have lined up, so that should be really excited. I'm really stoked to be doing that. And then I also have a few other video ideas, and there's going to be a secret YouTube channel. And particularly what we'll be doing is some... and another thing that I mentioned during live streaming is that, I mean, you kind of noticed I'm no longer doing the scheduled live streaming. I'll be only doing live streaming occasionally for certain events. Like, for example, there should be one coming up very soon about the behind the scenes to this very video. And if you paid attention to the intro compared to now, there may be a couple posters missing, which I'll explain in the behind the scenes live stream. So stick around for that. Now, speaking of that, I am kind of, you know, a bit halfway, actually a bit past halfway, to getting 1,000 subscribers. Now, I did also mention this in the live stream. This was kind of just a motivator for myself and any others watching the channel, in that I had kind of the 2-year countdown plan of like, if I get 1,000 subscribers in 2 years, then I'd be doing this celebration kind of live stream where I'd be doing karaoke, revealing some theater stuff that I've done, like this clip right here. Sounds drummer, boys, but I haven't played drums since the instant. Some metronomes kidnapped me, and when I woke, I completely lost my sense of rhythm. I've been hanging out here ever since. Yeah, it turns out my skills of percussion actually helped me get that role. But the only change is that it's not going to be limited to 2 years. It just kind of felt weird. It's just going to be a subscriber milestone, and I just wanted to kind of announce it in an actual video instead of just a live stream. Just, you know, lots of stuff. I'll be here, you better be here, and because of that, you should subscribe. Yep, that's right. That little button down there just lit up because I said the word subscribe. And maybe if I say the word hit the like button, then the other one will light up wherever that is. I actually don't know if that one works. Maybe they removed it. But yeah, lots of exciting stuff. I better get to work, so I will see you then. Is that my intro? I haven't done this in like a year. I don't know what I'm saying. I announced season 2 and the plans that I have for it. Season 2.